Because we have an excellent connection because we're close to the
Window?
chancellor's office, and the window helps too. They have much better reception than our space does.
Oh,
Okay, we are.
okay.
I probably shouldn't have said that on live YouTube, but it's okay. So hello, everybody. We are live broadcasting for Tech Talks. I believe this is our last one of the quarter, and they'll come back after the holiday break. But we are joined by Professor Susan Williams here because Susan has a note-taking tool that she's super excited about. She gave me a little demo of it last week, and I thought it was really slick, a really interesting combination of very low tech and then also very high tech.
Yes.
So I think it's super cool. So we wanted to share that.
Yes.
So I'm going to scoot this camera a little closer to Susan. We're going to try to do this a little differently because we're also going to be using a document camera to show how this works. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do that? Okay, Susan, take it away.
Okay. Hi. Hello, everybody in TV land. As Caleb said, I'm Susan Williams. I teach electronics. And last quarter, one of my students showed me this absolutely fabulous Rocketbook. It is rewritable note-taking documents. It comes in big form, 8 by 11. It comes in a small, about half size. They have note cards, they have a diary, and the cool thing about it is if you use an erasable pen, you write your notes as you're going along, and I always present mine under the document camera, and you just take the notes for the day. If you make a mistake, you just can wipe it off or erase it. And then you take a snap with your phone to their application and it uploads as a PDF. So some of the nice things about it is you can title the page with a double hashtag. So this is convert T to pi. It's pretty good about recognizing my sloppy handwriting. And then when I take the picture, it will give that PDF that title. And there's a QR code down at the bottom of each page that when the phone sees the QR code, that's how it creates the PDF. Down here across the bottom, you see these little symbols. You can cross off that symbol. And in the app, you choose the destination. So you can send it to your email, you can send it to your OneDrive, you can send it right. Did we decide you could post it right in Canvas?
I don't think it can post directly in Canvas.
I don't think so.
OneDrive, I think, was the good solution.
It'll send it right to OneDrive. So I could send this to several different places to have that just automatically upload to whatever topic you're teaching.
Hey, Susan, can you describe those icons? They're not coming in really clear on the video.
It's like, this is the actual Rocketbook app symbol. Here, let me zoom in.
See if we can see those a little better. They're just like little gray icons.
And this is like
apple
a little
and a
apple,
bell,
a clover. Can you see them?
No, I can't really see anything.
The one of the biggest problems, I want to call it a problem, is when you share through the Zoom with the document camera, sometimes it doesn't come in quite as nice as just regular.
Although I think the notes on the page are coming through pretty
They are
clear.
pretty, from looking at the YouTube, they are.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 7 different choices to send it automatically is what's down there on the page.
And then on the
that's
app,
great.
Yeah.
you determine what each of those icons represents for you.
Right. And I'll show you when I upload the document. So I have been using the how do you say that? Frixion, Frixion type of erasable pen. I go through about 2 of these or I go through about 1 refill every 2 weeks. So as far as consumables go, you're not writing on paper, but you are going to need refills. And I do a lot of notes So it's pretty writing intensive. Hand sanitizer will take off the ink if you write on the page with non-erasable ink. But it will also take off the little dot grids.
Oh.
But if you realize it real quick, hopefully it's just really small. So you've created your document, and then you have your phone handy. The nice thing is that the kids, you don't have to have the book to have the app. So if they want to use the app as well, they can. So can you see those icons better, Ben?
Yeah, that looks fine. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where you would choose in your destinations where each one of those little icons should go.
That's pretty slick.
So I have it to a chapter, a folder in the math, and I've created all of these folders in advance. So depending on where I want it to go, I just have like a dailies folder, and you can change that destination as you need it. So then what you do is you take the little picture button and then you position it. It's not gonna.
We won't see this part, but
You won't
after
see
it
this
takes the
part.
picture, then we'll see
So sometimes it takes a minute. And you just hold it so it can see the QR code. And then you see there, it's down there at the bottom of the page.
Yep.
And you go to next. And if you've marked the bottom, it'll shoot right off to whatever folder you've told it to go to.
And it's given it the name that you put in
Right.
hashtags on the
Right.
top. Yeah.
It didn't quite like the way I was looking at.
I was a
So,
little confused by pi, but I got
Pi,
the rest of it
yeah.
very well, which is great.
so that's the PDF. The other nice thing about it is if you got several pages, you can select them all
Make a multi.
and merge them.
Yeah.
So here I have this page and this page, and then I want to make one document, and it'll merge them together and send it to wherever I choose to send it. Okay. The app is free. The book was about $32.
Mhm.
The kids told me that Cyber Monday, they were selling for about 15.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The pens are between $12 and $20.
But you don't have to buy their branded pens. as long as it's
Any kind of
erasable.
erasable.
Sure,
Mhm.
sure.
We tried a couple different kinds, and this one seems to work out the best. Accessibility. Okay, so that's really all there is to the book. Oh, one more thing. Can we show?
What do we want to show?
We want to show the beacon,
Okay, yeah. So
Okay.
let's stop sharing for a
Okay,
second.
and then I'll talk about accessibility.
And then I'm going to move us around so that we can see the whiteboard. And I'm going to keep my giant head out of the way.
Okay, so in addition to having the QR code in the book, you can also use what's called a beacon. So what I have here on my board are these 4 orange squares. So I've written my notes on the board, and then you choose, instead of choosing Rocketbook, you choose beacon. And then when you hold it up to the board, it finds the 4 beacons and it scans it, and it makes the PDF from what you've written on the board. So if you don't have the dot cam and you're used to writing on the whiteboard, they don't have to have the product to use the app. So your students could be taking the snaps as you're writing. So the beacon, these don't come with the book. You have to buy them separate. I can't remember how much they were, but also very nice and very handy.
Are those
And,
sticky or are those magnetic?
They're not magnetic. They're like Klingons.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and it says if they get to where they're not sticking, just give them a clean.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but they're like those window
Yeah,
decorations.
window plates. Okay,
Yeah, but they're not magnetic.
gotcha.
So, and then it just uploads like the page does.
Very cool.
Can you title this with hashtags as well?
I imagine you could.
Yeah.
And I don't use it on the whiteboard as much, but I imagine you could.
Yeah, I find this really, this would have really been nice in my classroom. I remember students, taking pictures of all
Yeah.
the notes, but then they have no way to organize it on their phone.
Yeah.
And not naming it, it's by date, but then they're scrolling through notes and they can't find anything.
Right. Well, when it uploads, it gives it a name. It's just called Rocket. It's just called RB. Here, I'll show you on my phone. I guess I should see. It's just called RB something something.
Sure.
But then when I upload it to OneDrive, I usually change the name. So even if you don't hashtag it with a name, you can always change it once you get it into OneDrive.
So one workflow that I could imagine that would be really slick is you are doing your classroom lecture with the document camera on your notes. When you're done and you're hashtagging the first page with today's date or something, today's date lecture notes, and then you just have it sent directly into a OneDrive folder, and you have a shareable link to that folder in Canvas.
Right, that's what we talked about.
Yeah, so
Yes.
so all you have to do is take a picture of your notes at the end of the lecture, and it's immediately, instantly available in Canvas to your students to review
Yes.
as a PDF. I think that's super slick. It
Yes.
saves so many steps
Yes.
for lecture notes.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. So that was the beacons.
We wanted to talk a little bit about accessibility.
Accessibility, right? So I had some student who needed accommodations for note taking.
Mhm.
And so he had another student in class that would take notes for him while I was lecturing. And it was like a lightning. Instead of going over to the disability office and picking up those carbon sheets and writing them all out by hand, I purchased one for the student taking notes. And he would just take notes on the Rocketbook, upload them, he has them, the student has them, done.
Mhm.
So it worked out very nice for that. And now we're not having to go over and get, stacks and stacks of
Carbon paper. Or they might, sometimes they'll use those smart pens, which are very expensive and a little finicky too. Right?
a little, yeah.
So it's a really interesting potential tool for some students with accommodation.
Yes. It cleans up with water. I better not erase that one. That was from today.
Don't wipe it.
Don't wipe it. I could do this one. It just wipes up with water. It comes with a terry cloth towel. I just throw mine in the wash and we're ready to go.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
I think that's really slick. It's just, I love that when you are working on it, it's just super low tech. It's basically just a notebook.
It's just a notebook.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's okay.
like-
It's notes I was taking for
Okay,
them, so
okay,
it's
okay.
fine.
So yeah, in practice, it's just like writing on a notebook, but then with just a little bit of setup through the app,
Mhm.
it does a ton of automation for
It
you,
does.
which I think is really cool.
It does.
And I also like that it's fairly inexpensive.
It is.
You have to buy the notebook, but it's not, there's no subscription. You don't have to buy their special proprietary pens. You can use other brands of ink.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly impressed with that.
Thank you. I have enjoyed, this is the first entire quarter that I have been using it. And what I'll do is I'll create a page. I didn't think to send it right as a copied link.
Mhm.
I'll just, at the end of the day, upload to a page in Canvas with all of the list of documents and call it chapter, whatever, dailies.
Sure.
And then they can go back and they have used them. And I think that's the great thing. I see them out on the desk. I see them having been printed. They'll look at them while they're doing their homework.
Yeah.
So they're using them,
That's
and I'm
great.
not going through 2 stacks of
Yeah.
engineering paper.
Yeah, Susan, I really like the low tech innovation here, because this replicates what we're already doing, but then it makes it available to students in digital formats. And the way that it has the ability to just kind of send it off to a folder that students can have access to, that's really, really cleans up your process, because then you don't have to manage that.
I agree.
You set it up correctly. That's cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yes, I agree.
Well, Susan, was there
Okay.
anything else we wanted to cover on
think
this part?
The app is free.
Yep.
The book is relatively low cost of entry. If you're already using a .cam to take notes, I've got this very nice multicolor that clicks, from the 70s, to write in different colors.
Yeah.
And they really do seem to appreciate it.
Sure.
It shows up nice on the board. Everybody can see it, and they have it all right after class.
Very cool. Very cool.
So
Yeah, I think this is really slick, especially like you said, if your workflow already involves using a document camera during lectures, using the whiteboard during lectures, this doesn't really change that.
No.
It just gives you all these additional features. So I think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I think it's worth considering if that kind of style makes sense to you as a teacher, then,
Yes.
then it's worth looking at.
yes.
I did want to also offer a couple other tools as alternatives to consider.
Okay, I'm
just-
gonna hand it back to Caleb.
Yes.
Thanks for watching.
Are you gonna go? Yes,
Yeah,
please,
I'm gonna
Susan,
go.
thank you so much for joining
Okay,
us. Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes.
excellent.
Hi, Susan.
Bye, Ben.
She's got to run a little
I do,
early,
I
but that's
gotta run.
totally fine. I did just want to, let's stop sharing our screen here. Stop sharing. Okay. And I'm going to leave that because I'm looking at 2 versions of myself and it's freaking me out. Sharing our screen. Okay. So I did want to share just a couple other alternative tools that kind of do similar things, just because, we don't promote single paid products. We're not making an endorsement for a specific company or anything. It's more just an idea of awareness of some of these tools that exist. Ben, do you remember the name of the app that another instructor was sharing through the TLC yesterday? They had another Notability. Thank you.
Scott Sataki's shared on Notability.
Yeah, and I unfortunately wasn't able to go to that one, but I think Angela has a recording of it. If you are curious about that, talk to Angela Rasmussen. So that's another tool. That one works through an iPad, so it is kind of in the same family of tools, but it's a little different. It's not on paper, it's on an iPad with a electronic pencil.
I could briefly give you the 1-minute version.
Go for it.
So he will take his notes on his iPad just as he would on the board, but he's recording on Zoom as well. And so it's given him a way to record his handwritten notes while capturing his voice. I think he uses earpods to get decent audio, AirPods. And then it has a translation software too, where it translates. I'm not sure if it's a PDF. I think it might be, but it'll take that, that iPad writing and turn it into a PDF, which is nice for math, and the students that miss a class, just like what Susan was doing.
Very cool. So if that one sounds interesting, if you have an iPad or you're interested in doing that, either talk to Scott or ask Angela if you can get a look at the recording of that session. A couple other tools that are available in other forms of digital note-taking. One that is kind of interesting is a Google product called Google Lens. If you have an Android phone, you probably already have that built into Android. You can also download it as a separate app on iPhones. But it is basically a character recognition tool that's integrated into your camera app. And if you use it to take a picture of handwritten notes or printed text or a page from a book or any kind of text, it will use what's called OCR, optical character recognition, to turn that into electronic text that you can save as a Google document or put it in a notepad. You can use that to, after you've taken, let's say, for example, you take a picture of a page from a journal article and you're interested in looking up more about that subject, you can, on your phone, highlight the text that you just took a picture of, and it'll do a Google search and find more information on that topic. And then I think it will also let you save those as, I don't know if it lets you save those as PDFs or just as images, but that's another free way of taking digital notes, but it's also kind of limited in some of its functionality. It's kind of, because it's a Google product, they're always trying to push you into the Google ecosystem. So as soon as it takes a picture of some text, it's going to try to be helpful and say, would you like to search more about this author or this subject or this keyword? So it's always going to try to push you into the Google search engine, because that's what Google does. They're a massive search engine monster. Another tool that is popular is called Evernote, which is more of a general note-taking system. It's more web-based, but you can also get it on your phone. You can download an app to your computer. And it's more of a holistic system for collecting all of your notes and pages. It does have a phone scan built into the app, so you can again scan handwritten notes, and it'll turn them into tagged PDFs that you can categorize and tag and search and all those things. Evernote is a subscription service. It does have a free tier that you can try out to see if it is a useful tool to you, but it's, as with most subscription services, the free version is limited in certain ways. It's more of a taste, and then they want you to pay for the subscription. So there are a few other tools out there in addition to Rocketbook. I just wanted to throw out some alternatives. If this is a topic that you're interested in, there's a few different things you can try out. But I think that's about it for today. And Susan already left. She had to run to another meeting, but I'm really glad she came and showed off her cool tool, because I thought that was pretty slick.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to talk her into sharing with us. I like the serendipitous happenings that happen at the TLC. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it did not require any talking into it. She was so enthusiastic about it. She wanted to show it off. So I was pretty impressed with that.
That's great. So I think this was our last one, right, for the year.
Yep.
We'll come back in January. And then any ideas of some potential ideas in January?
So I have one that I don't want to give away too much because it's not 100% set in stone, but I have another instructor who wanted to share a process and policy for office hours that she has been experimenting with that has been very successful for her so far. She's super excited about it. It's kind of just a fairly simple tweak to the office hours policy process, but one that saves her time and gets a lot more student engagement than traditional office hours. So keep an eye out on our calendar for that one in January. That's the only one I have off the top of my head for January. We have a list written down somewhere.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good one to get some conversation going for sure.
Totally. And then as usual for our audience, anybody watching this afterwards, if there's a specific topic or tool or question or problem that you'd like us to cover in a tech talk, please reach out to us and let us know, and we will get it on the list. We love anything that you are doing in your classroom, a tool, a technology, a Canvas setting, a policy, an activity that you're excited about. Come share it with us. We'd love to have you on Tech Talks.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. I guess that's it for today. I'm going to turn off the YouTube stream. Have a happy winter break, and we will see you in January.